You are standing at a checkout counter with a few ordinary things in front of you. The cashier turns the payment terminal toward you. You tap your card, hear a soft beep, and in less than a second, the transaction is done. It feels almost too simple to notice. But right there on that thin piece of plastic is a tiny golden square doing far more than most people realize. It is checking security, helping verify identity, creating encrypted codes, and making sure your money does not move unless the system trusts the transaction. So what is actually inside that little chip, and how does something so small do all of that? Let's get into it right here on Secrets of Simple Things. Before cards had chips. To understand why that tiny chip matters, we need to go back to the age of the magnetic stripe. For years, payment cards worked through the black strip on the back. You swiped the card, the terminal read the information, and the payment moved forward. But that simplicity came with a serious weakness. The magnetic stripe stored static data. In other words, it carried the same core information every time it was used. Your card number, expiration date, and other details were passed to the terminal in essentially the same form each time you swiped. That meant if a criminal stole that data once, they could often use it again. Skimming devices could secretly copy the stripe. Once copied, that information could be written onto another card and used as a fake version of the original, so the problem was built into the design. The card kept giving the same answer every time it was read. As electronic payments became more common, that weakness became harder to ignore. The world needed more than a card that simply revealed stored information. It needed a card that could participate in the transaction itself. That is where the chip comes in. What the chip really is. The little gold square on your card is not just a shiny piece of metal. It is a miniature computer embedded in the card. Inside it is a microprocessor, which works like the chip's brain. There is also secure memory, where card data is stored in a controlled and protected way, very different from the old magnetic stripe. The chip also runs on a tiny operating system that tells it how to respond during a payment. And it includes a cryptographic engine, which creates secure transaction codes on the spot. That is the major difference. A magnetic stripe mainly stored information. A chip can store, process, verify, and protect information at the same time. It is not passive, it is active. The Emv Upgrade. The standard behind most of these cards is called EMV. The name comes from Europay, MasterCard, and Visa, the three companies that created it. EMV chips were introduced as a major security upgrade. The old card system depended on reusable data. EMV changed that. Instead of simply handing over your details every time, the chip could generate fresh data for each transaction. That made card cloning much harder and changed the structure of a payment. A magnetic stripe was like a card that always gave the same response. A chip card became something more like a device that could respond differently depending on the situation. So what actually happens when you insert the card into a reader? What happens when you insert your card? The process begins with power. When you insert the card, the terminal sends electricity through the small metal contacts on the front. That wakes up the chip and begins communication between the card and the terminal. The first stage is initialization. The terminal identifies the card and starts the payment process. Then comes authentication. This is where the chip helps prove that it is genuine. It uses digital certificates and cryptographic keys to show that the card has not been tampered with and is not just a simple copy pretending to be real. After that comes the most important step: dynamic data generation. Instead of sending out the same static data the way the magnetic stripe did, the chip creates a one-time cryptographic code, often called a cryptogram. This code represents that specific transaction. It is created for that moment, in that terminal, for that purchase. The next transaction will produce a different code. That means even if someone somehow intercepted the code, it would be useless for the next payment. Then comes verification and approval. The terminal sends the cryptogram along with other transaction details through the payment network to the bank. The bank uses its own secure copy of the card's data and keys to check whether everything matches. If it does, the transaction is approved and the payment goes through. All of that happens in just a few seconds, and often in less than one. Why? The chip is more secure. The reason chip cards are safer comes down to one key idea: dynamic encryption. A magnetic stripe carries static data. Static data can be copied and reused. A chip does something different. It creates a unique encrypted code for each transaction. It does not need to keep sending the same reusable information every time the card is used. Instead, it sends a one-time response that only makes sense for that particular payment. That makes traditional skimming and cloning far less useful. A criminal might capture one transaction, but that does not give them a reusable key to future ones. The chip can also help detect anomalies. If it is being read by an unusual terminal, or if something about the transaction or hardware seems suspicious, the system can flag or reject the payment. In some designs, the chip can even wipe sensitive memory if it detects a major attempt at tampering. The chip is not just holding your data, it is helping defend it. Why Tap to Pay uses the same logic. Many cards now support Tap to Pay, and that works through NFC or near-field communication. With NFC, the card communicates wirelessly with the payment terminal using short-range radio waves. So the card does not need to be inserted physically. You just tap it near the reader. But the core security process is almost the same. The chip still wakes up. It still exchanges information securely with the terminal. It still generates a one-time cryptographic code. And the bank still verifies that code in real time before the payment is approved. So Tap to Pay is not secure because it is simpler. It is secure because the same dynamic encryption and verification system is still doing the work behind the scenes. The real muscle is in the backend. It is easy to think that the whole story is just the card and the reader, but the real muscle behind a chip card transaction is the backend system. When the chip creates that one-time cryptogram, someone still has to verify it immediately. That is why your card issuer keeps a secure version of your chip's data on its own servers. The bank checks the code, looks for signs of fraud, confirms the transaction, and sends back an approval or rejection in real time. The card network, such as Visa, MasterCard, or another provider, acts as the bridge in that process. It helps move the transaction information between the store, the issuer, and the rest of the payment system, then brings the response back. So the chip on your card is impressive, but it is not working alone. It is part of a much larger, invisible system built to make trust happen quickly. Chip and signature, or chip and PIN. You may have noticed that sometimes a chip card payment ends with a signature, while other times it asks for a PIN. Both methods use the chip. The difference is how the cardholder is authenticated. With chip and signature, you confirm the payment with your signature. With chip and PIN, you enter a personal code, much like using an ATM. Chip and PIN is generally considered more secure because it is much harder to fake a PIN than a signature. That is why countries like the United Kingdom and Australia made chip and PIN the norm much earlier. In the United States, chip and signature remained more common for longer, although that has been changing over time. Where chip cards are heading next. Even though chip cards already feel advanced, the technology is still evolving. Some newer cards have experimented with biometric authentication, such as fingerprint sensors built right into the card. Others use dynamic CVV systems, where the 3-digit security code on the back changes every few hours thanks to a tiny electronic display. And over time, the functions once tied mainly to the plastic card are blending more closely with smartphones, watches, digital wallets, and even digital identity systems. The small chip with a big job. The next time you insert or tap your card, it is worth remembering that you are holding something much more advanced than it looks. That little golden square is not just storing your information, it is waking up, following instructions, proving authenticity, generating encrypted codes, and helping a larger network decide whether money should move. It is doing all of that quietly, in the blink of an eye, inside one of the most ordinary objects in daily life. And that may be what makes it such a perfect, simple thing. On the surface, it feels unremarkable, but hidden inside it is a story about security, trust, design, and the invisible systems that make modern life feel easy. The chip exists because modern payment depends on something we rarely think about: confidence. Confidence that the card is real, confidence that the payment is valid, confidence that a moment lasting less than a second can still be safe. The chip is tiny, but the technology behind it is huge. So the next time you hear that soft beep at the checkout counter, you might see it a little differently. What looks like a quick ordinary payment is actually the result of a tiny computer doing remarkable work behind the scenes. If there is another everyday object you want us to explore, leave it in the comments below. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden stories inside simple things, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.